folks. Richard Moore, USA, GSA. And today I'm going to talk about and confront something that nobody in the mainstream media, Veterans Administration, nobody in law enforcement, and nobody in the Pentagon wants to talk about. American military veterans, Marines, soldiers, sailors, airmen, participating in stalking, harassment, and unconstitutional targeting of innocent United States citizens, including other veterans. I'm exposing it because it's real. I'm documenting it because it's widespread. And we're going to name it for what it is. It's seditious behavior from oath-breaking veterans who are violating the Constitution they swore to defend. This is the uncomfortable truth America needs to hear. Folks, before I jump into it, in the description of this video is my link tree, and that link tree will give you various links which you can support USA GSA. We're 100% supported by our listeners, viewers, and followers. And without your support, we can't do what we do. I can't stress the importance of that. Now, I would rather do broadcast and do things without ever having to mention it. But the fact that it has to be mentioned should clue you in on the fact that we need your support. So those links are in the link tree. If you want to take a stand with USA GSA, I encourage you to become a patron on Patreon. That link is in there as well. You can become a free member, but by being a paid member, you're taking a financial stand and helping us continue to broaden our reach in what we're doing on this platform. Also, in that link is a link to my Substack and WordPress. Well, at least Substack's in there. As an investigative journalist, I've written extensively about these programs, their tactics, and the people behind it. And also giving voice to the voiceless. So I encourage you to go there, and you can be a free or paid subscriber there. A lot of good stuff. If you're not subscribed, folks, I ask you to please subscribe and make sure you check that little notification, the little bell button there, and and make sure you get notified when new content comes up, and it does come out on a regular basis. You want to stay in the know. Hitting that thumbs up button, that like button, and sharing is also an essential part of taking a stand and making sure our voice is heard with the people. I've done several videos of documenting this national gamut of American citizens being targeted, slated for destruction to the tune of 8 million Americans annually. The fake media, the mainstream fake media, they're not going to talk about this. This program is designed to make those that are targeted appear psychotic and delusional. And that's a very sinister and diabolical program indeed. But through thousands of miles and hours of documenting from coast to coast, I can give you my expert opinions and facts on this program. And when I tell you that the synonymous thread that runs through this program is the continuance of a presence of veterans involved in this group stalking. And this is absolutely pathetic. It's unconscionable. Every veteran took an oath. It's the oath that never expires, ladies and gentlemen. It's an oath, of course, with no expiration date. And that oath is to support and defend the Constitution of the United States against all enemies, foreign and domestic. The Marine Corps says it best: there are no former Marines. That oath doesn't vanish when you take off the uniform. It doesn't fade when you go home. It doesn't dissolve because times got tough or because a sheriff fusion center or a cops program network came along and offered you a false sense of purpose. When a veteran turns their training that we paid for, discipline and credibility against innocent Americans, when they help run an unconstitutional targeting program, when they terrorize their own, they're not warriors, they're oathbreakers. Be real clear about the oathbreakers here, folks. This is not helping the community. This is not neighborhood watch. This is not patriotism. This is not volunteer policing. This is organized harassment, extrajudicial surveillance, psychological warfare, and civil rights violations carried out by mobs of civilians. And yes, including military veterans, under the direction of corrupt local officials and federal funding streams. When a group uses intimidation, threats, stalking, and force to interfere with constitutional rights, the legal term for that isn't service. It isn't loyalty. It isn't community involvement. The correct legal term is sedition. Under 18 U.S.C. 2384, seditious conspiracy, when two or more conspire to use force, intimidation, or threats to hinder or prevent the execution of the laws of the United States. The Bill of Rights is federal law. Civil rights are federal law. The Constitution is the highest law in the land. So when veterans participate in targeting, stalking, and psychological warfare against its citizens, they're not defending the Constitution, they're attacking it. That is sedition. The 22-a-day crisis is likely connected to this. It most assuredly is connected to this. 22 veterans a day commit suicide. Every day. 22 today, 22 tomorrow, and the next day. This has gone into the tens and thousands. But yet, we're not hearing any of this on the news. We've got purple-haired liberal freaks spitting in the face of federal officers trying to do their job and enforce the laws of the land. And we've got foreign terrorists within our borders that have been flooding within our borders by the millions, killing soldiers in our streets. Ladies and gentlemen, as an American citizen, as a red-blooded American, I understand that this is our country. We're supposed to be the land of the free. And of course, we now know that is subjective. But what I do know is there's no place in this country, no room for the religion of Islam. And now, look what we have on our hands. Is it any wonder? Not just that, but the very subject I'm speaking on right now. If you stay tuned to anything, you've got people in positions of trust, elected officials, senators and congressmen, encouraging sedition, committing seditious acts in sedition by encouraging other oath takers to become oath breakers. this 22 a day, folks, is absolutely it's horrendous. It's unconscionable, and that's what we're having to deal with, folks. And so we lose 22 veterans every single day to suicide. That's the official number. We both know the real number is higher, much higher. And here's the dark truth that nobody wants you to hear, or nobody wants to say. Targeting drives people towards suicide. That is the program. That's the program. It isolates them. It breaks them down. It wears them down exactly as designed. When veterans participate in this system, especially against other veterans, they're directly contributing to the suicide crisis in America, and America, of course, pretends it can't be solved. How many veterans are dead today because another veteran chose to side with a sheriff running a cops program or a fusion center or a community policing gang instead of standing with the Constitution? How many? This is not only seditious, it's morally criminal. What do we call them? So what do we call a veteran who violates civil rights, strikes innocent people, and stalks innocent people, and participates and facilitates in psychological warfare, abuses their training, operates under the color of law, helps run targeting networks, and betrays the very oath that defines their identity? Legally, a civil rights criminal, a domestic extremist, and a participant in seditious conspiracy. Morally, an oathbreaker. And for a Marine, soldier, sailor, or airman, being an oathbreaker is worse than treason against their country. It is treason against your own uniform, your own brothers, and the ideals that you once swore to defend. These people are not patriots. They're not protectors, and they're not guardians. They're seditious oathbreakers who traded their honor for a community policing, trinkets, and petty social validation. Where do the complaints go? And folks, if you know anything about me, you know anything about what we do here, we don't just prop up the problem. We try to bring elements of the solution with what we're doing. Let me tell you where it goes, ladies and gentlemen, what you can do, how you can do your part of those that have, by the thousands that I have corresponded with across this country. You have the evidence, you've got pictures of those tags, you've got what you need. What can we do? You can ask for a court martial. Most of them aren't under United States military justice anymore. But what you can do is trigger a federal investigation through the Veterans Administration's Office of Inspector General, the Department of Defense Inspector General, the service branch, the IGs of Inspector Generals, the Army, Navy, Marine Corps, and Air Force, and the Department of Justice Civil Rights Division. There's more, folks. There's way more. Also, FBI, color of law violations, State's Attorney General, Veterans Administration, whistleblower offices, Veterans Administration, mental health risk reporting channels. These veterans can lose veterans benefits, federal contracts, clearances, security credentials, retiree status, federal employment, and their freedom. And folks, let me tell you, if you sit back and just listen to this and you don't take action and you don't take the steps, it's going to be more of the same. It's not going to get any better. And we're at a crisis right now, a national crisis. Now, if you're a veteran watching this, let me be clear. You either defend the Constitution or you don't. You either signed with the American people or you stand with corruption. You either honor your oath or you betray it. There's no middle ground. And for those who are being targeted, you're not crazy. You're not imagining it. You're not alone. And I'm not going to stop exposing this system until American people understand exactly what's happening in their communities. That's why they're doing everything within their power, attempting to do everything to stop me and to stop GSA from doing it. Don't think for 1 minute that they haven't and won't continue. I will continue to stand with the Constitution. I will continue to stand with the truth. I will continue to stand with the people. And I will put my life on the line if need be to stand for that Constitution, for my constitutional rights and for your constitutional rights. No amount of money, no amount of inclusion or backslapping will ever change or waver my moral standing as an American citizen, and I might add, a child of God. And we won't talk about the fake Christians out there thinking they're doing God's work. They're doing work that God has damned by people that are damned by God. Maybe you didn't go to a satanic temple and sign a dotted line somewhere in blood. You didn't have to. All you had to do was pretend and play church and participate in programs that are absolutely contrary to God's word. Therefore, you're not serving God. If you're not serving God, you're serving Satan himself. That's how easy it is when you sell your soul to Satan. And we're going to continue to expose it. Folks, until next time, God bless you.
They call me a god. 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 Let's go. I'm about to go off like a weapon. Fuel to the top, got a filled up engine. In my thoughts, obsession, I will not stop, no I'm never